grounds of Kingsway High School in Woolwich, New Jersey. The Gloucester County Educational Network presents high school football. Tonight, it's the Kingsway Dragons hosting the Washington Township Minutemen. Hello again, everyone. Rob Christ along with my partner, Mike Shute. It seems like we haven't been here forever, but excited to be out here. A beautiful, crisp fall evening for a big matchup. Two Group 5 schools in South Jersey. In fact, it's been so long, they didn't have South Jersey Group 5 the last time we did it, but a big matchup here. Kingsway against Washington Township. First, let's talk about the visiting Minutemen. This is a team that has done exceptionally well. Coach Mark Wechter has really turned the program around, coming into this game with a lot of momentum, and they're coming in with a tremendous amount of confidence.
Yeah, they've won 3 straight, 3-2 on the season. Wechter's got things going in the right direction. The offense is working, and they like to put it in the air. We'll see if they can do that tonight, because talking to Coach Wechter during the course of the week, he said, running the football against Kingsway is not an easy task.
Well, we talk about running the football, and Kingsway has been successful doing that. But the key to this Kingsway team has really been their defense. Despite the fact they have a 1-3 record, that's not really an indication of what a strong team they have. They've played probably the toughest schedule in South Jersey.
Well, when you're in Group 5 and you're playing in the big division, they're in the West Jersey Football League National Division, you're talking about some of the big name schools. So you're going to be tested week in and week out, Rob. And Kingsway they've come up a little short, but they've been successful insofar as being very competitive in every game, losing close games in those 3 losses. Tonight, Washington Township expects quite a test.
Well, we mentioned that Kingsway's defense has been the strength. They're going to have to shut down quarterback Mike Paperno of Washington Township. Paperno has had a tremendous amount of success working out of this spread offense.
Yes, he has. He's completed over 60% of his passes. He's thrown for 820 yards, 9 touchdowns on the season. So he can put it up. He's got guys that can go get it, and it's going to be that kind of offense that Washington Township's looking for. Try to hurry up, make big plays down the field, throw the ball. They'll take the dink and dunk if they have to, but it'll be in the air a lot.
Well, contrast the two styles, because Kingsway likes to pound the football. They have a good one in Anthony Sees. This is a kid who's already getting looks from Boston College, NC State, and some major schools. They're going to rely on him tonight.
Yeah, 82 carries, 408 yards. That's a little bit less than 5 yards a carry. He's got 7 touchdowns already in just 4 games. So Sees is the man. He will carry the load, and it will be up to him, as he goes. Hopefully that's how that Kingsway offense goes, and for them, they're hoping it's going in a positive direction.
Kingsway has their proverbial backs against the wall. They're going to need to win tonight if they have any aspirations of continuing on with the playoffs. On the other hand, Washington Township, they also need a win to ensure their playoff hopes and continue with their strong momentum. Stick around. We'll have the opening kickoff for you in just a moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, please help us maintain the highest.
Welcome back to Kingsway High School here in Woolwich Township. Beautiful evening, about 60 degrees, ready to get underway. Kingsway won the toss and has elected to receive. They will try to get on the board first, and Mike, Kingsway has struggled to get on the scoreboard, and their defense has been their strength, but you kind of get a sense they need to score first.
Kingsway has scored just 56 points this year. The one thing that was working in their favor, Rob, they've only scored 13 points this season in the first quarter, but they haven't let the opponent score at all in the first quarter. So that's big for the Dragons here. There you see the weather tonight, mostly cloudy. 52 degrees, beautiful night for football, beautiful night for just about anything, I'd say, Rob. If you had a soccer game, you had field hockey, anything.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, you can see that this is homecoming for Kingsway, and this is a big game on so many different levels. Of course, everybody loves to celebrate homecoming, but Kingsway in dire need of a victory here to continue with their aspirations of moving on to the playoffs. Back to receive for Kingsway, your receivers, and kicking away for Washington Township is Cooper Bentz. He's one of the best you're going to see in South Jersey.
Yeah, talking to Coach Wechter, he's got a Division I leg, he says. We'll talk more about him as the game rolls along, but he's been an important factor for this team.
Bentz kicks it away, and it'll be taken just inside the 10-yard line, across the 25, and Sees will be brought down just shy of the 30. First down and 10 for the Dragons.
And when you look at the stats for these two teams, special teams is going to be important tonight. Obviously, Bentz, as we mentioned, is a big factor. He's been a guy that's been very good kicking field goals, 8 for 11 on PATs, 2 for 3 on field goals, but his longest and his best, a 47-yarder in that Nor'easter a couple weeks ago against Timber Creek.
Kingsway is led, as we mentioned, by a good defense, but their offense led by Pete Oreo, just a sophomore, behind center. Relatively young offensive team. Sees a junior, Oreo a sophomore. And one of the things that Coach Barchuk mentioned, Mike, is that they have to stop making mistakes.
And there's one right there, flag on the first snap of the ball game. You've got a illegal procedure that's going to move them back 5, and you're looking now at 1st and 15 here to start the game. So again, mistakes, important, and important to not make them early. The other thing, turnovers are big. Washington Township's turned it over on their opponents 10 times, 7 interceptions, 3 fumble recoveries. They're averaging 2 takeaways a game. Kingsway doesn't need to make that any of those mistakes tonight.
Oreo, man in motion. First play from scrimmage, and he'll keep it himself turned inside. He'll fall forward for a few. He won't get back to the original line of scrimmage. Second down, we'll call it 11.
Danny G. Quinto, big number 66, the senior, 5'11", 283, with his 18th tackle of the season there as he takes down the quarterback after picking up about 4. Looking at 2nd and 11 here.
The name Oreo rings a bell. Of course, the head coach of Deptford and the coaching staff, Oreos, a long part of that program now over here at Kingsway with Tony Barchuk. And some confusion inside. Jay Skirbo. Little collision with Oreo, and again, we mentioned the mistakes that they've made. They're not off to the start that they had hoped for.
Junior David Grosmick with the tackle there, a 6'2", 210-pound junior, 23rd tackle of the season for him this year. He'll split time up front there with Austin Hackling, another junior, at that one defensive end. The other defensive end is Chris Wizard, a senior with 18 tackles. They play a 3-4 defense, do the Minutemen here on 3rd and long.
Rocket screen, and not a whole lot there. Maybe a pickup of 6 or 7, some positive yardage for Samuels, but nonetheless, it's going to be a quick 3 and out and a punt for the Dragons.
You mentioned Skirbo on that last play too, Rob. You mentioned Oreo, the coach. His dad was a coach. Skirbo's dad was also a coach at Cherry Hill West. Played collegiately down at Rowan.
Good punt away. Will be taken at the 30-yard line and quickly met by a host of Dragons after a brief 5-yard return. And Grasso, maybe the key returner, or key handsman, I should say, on the offensive end for Washington Township. They've changed their offense. They tried the wing tee out last year. It just didn't work. They went back to the spread, and they found tremendous success.
Grasso, you mentioned him on the punt returns. He's got the most touches. Well, aside from the running backs, he's among the leaders in touches there on the offense. He has 7 carries this year, 17 receptions. He's got the most all-purpose yards in the team, 468, which includes 5 punt returns for 77 yards.
Pitch, and it's fumbled in the backfield. Wisely falling on top of it is Washington Township's Dylan Headley.
Headley, that was smart. You lose the ball like that, first down, your first offensive play. Don't just try and pick it up and then you're bobbling it, knocking it around some more. Just fall on it. Let's get this covered and let's start over.
You know, a little interesting, Michael. It seems as though there's both teams coming out with a little bit of nerves.
Yeah. Don't know if it's homecoming here at Kingsway. Maybe that's got something to do with it. Who knows? But yeah, things look a little sloppy to start on both sides with the football.
Second down and about 17. Out of the shotgun, Caperna has a man underneath, slipping one tackle across to the 39-yard line. Finally stopped is Nick Grasso.
Grasso with his 18th catch of the season. Again, that leads the team Had 384 yards coming in, so averaging 22.6 yards per catch. That one certainly not 22, but a good chunk there as he picked up a solid 13 yards there, it looked like.
3rd down and 7 now. Township will go trips right. Paperno once again will work out of the shotgun. Paperno with a quick release. Paperno, quick drop, has a man, throws it up, it's picked off. Picked off, and still it is Chase Matthews still driving forward into Washington Township territory. Well, we talked about mistakes. There's a critical one. We'll see whether or not Kingsway can take advantage.
First interception of the season for Matthews, just the second by the Kingsway defense this year. So big play, great field position for the Kingsway offense here on their second possession. Paperno went back. That ball just kind of took off on him, Rob. It sailed, and Matthews able to pull it down there. The 6-foot, 195-pound senior with the INT. Again, his first of the year, just the second again for Kingsway's defense this year. So timely here to get one in the first quarter.
Matthews has to be pleased turning this defense around. We talked about the vaunted defense of Kingsway. Doing so on homecoming only adds to it. Out of the I formation, here is Oreo and the Dragons, starting from the 46-yard line. Quick cutback, and absolutely nothing there. Big defensive stand as Seas gets seized in the backfield.
Flag on the play, though, and that looked like it was in the place of face mask, and actually you see him there give the call, but it's going against against Kingsway. So we'll see if they decline that, take the loss, or add on the penalty. Because it's going to be from the spot of the foul, so they probably will take that as well. It'll probably be the loss and the foul, I think, Rob.
Well, again, if you're a coach, Michael, and there's one way that you could say, I don't want a series to start, it's with a penalty. Well, that's happened on each of the first 2 drives.
Yeah, 2 for 2 here for Kingsway. First down on each of their 2 drives.
There you see Tony Barchuk. He got his 200th win last season, 202, 153 and 5. And you know, we've been doing football in South Jersey for some time now, 15 years or so. I don't recall exactly what the number is, but Tony Barchuk has been a part of it each and every year, and it's great to see him out here. We've had some great football games. I talked with him beforehand from Group 2 to 3 to 4, and now Group 5 football for Kingsway. First down, handoff, and again, not a whole lot doing for this Kingsway offense.
Making the tackle there, number 50 for Washington Township. That's Wizard, the senior. Again, they play a 3-4, so Wizard's one of the 2 defensive ends there. You'll see 77 and 53. David Grossmick and Austin Hackling rotate in at the other spot. Danny Gianquinto is your nose guard. The linebackers, Nick Evangelista, Kyle Bogacki, Nick Becht, and Mateo Murgia. Another note about the Township defense, they're actually missing probably their best all-around player. We'll tell you more about him after the snap.
Second down in motion, the pitch. And again, great pressure, just too much penetration for this Washington Township defense. And Anthony Seas is just having a tough time tonight because there's absolutely nowhere to go. This drive started back at the 46-yard line of Township. It's now at the 35-yard line of Kingsway. So it's going to be 3rd down and 29 yards.
That player that Township's missing on the defense, Jimmy Merrill, he was their leading tackler last year. Yeah, last year with 71 tackles and a sack. So he's missing in the linebacker spot. But Township's defense has not missed a beat. You see him make a stop there.
They'll play it safe. The quick handoff inside, once again to Anthony Seas. We mentioned that Seas has really come into this year with a tremendous season underneath his belt, and they were hoping for big things. Thus far, the story has been the penetration of this Washington Township defense. And as you mentioned, Merrill is out. I guess the other story is the number of mistakes that we've seen. We see another penalty here from Kingsway. This is the 3rd penalty already in just 2 series. And Tony Barchuk is going to find himself frustrated as the team continues to shoot itself in the foot. They're going to be fortunate if they can just get the punt back to the original line of scrimmage.
Yeah. Getting back to that Township defense too, Rob, talking to Coach Wechter, he said that that Merrill suffered a high ankle sprain against Shawnee, but the rest of the guys have been stepping up and playing at a higher level in lieu of missing.
Punts away, it's a fumble, it's down on the turf. Who's going to come away with it? No signal thus far.
Off the punt, ball's loose.
And it's Kingsway football. Kingsway, their best offensive weapon tonight has been the returning of Washington Township.
That was odd because the one referee on the far side of the field was pointing one direction. The guy in the middle was pointing the other way. It took a while to sort it out, but Kingsway gets the turnover again. Now 2 turnovers already for Washington Township, Rob, and they haven't even had 2 full series.
And at this point, Kingsway still looking for their first down. This will be their 3rd drive. They started each drive with a penalty. They will try to start off a little bit better here. Again, Oreo underneath center. 1st down and 10. The pitch. Cut back inside. It's Samuels. He finds a hole. Samuels on his way to the end zone. Touchdown.
How about a nice block out there by number 47, Joey Delaquila. He got out there and got a little bit of room and gave a little bit extra crack to get him through for that touchdown.
Well, Samuels, you could see, just kind of bided his time, found a seam, and exploited it. The explosive speed of Samuels on display. And Kingsway, their first time getting a positive outcome on 1st down, results in a touchdown.
There was a flag down in the end zone, too. I don't know if they made a call on that. Unsportsmanlike conduct, probably it's going to be.
Unsportsmanlike against Kingsway, in fact, is the call. So their 4th penalty now against the Dragons. And again, 2 steps forward, 1 step back.
Didn't they, and Kingsway calls timeout, but did they not enforce that on this kick, Rob? Because the ball is still on the...
It's typically on the kickoff.
Oh, okay.
So Barchuk, it looks to be now another penalty flag on the field. So confusion reigning currently. Time was called on the field, and yet you could see the official take the flag out of his pocket. I don't know that I've seen that before. So Barchuk will go out, and we have unsportsmanlike conduct against Kingsway, and I don't know if that's a second call. That's my assumption.
Yeah.
You see a beautiful, clear night here, crisp evening. We mentioned temperature starting out around 60 and will fall into the 50s and maybe lower. And on homecoming, Kingsway couldn't have had it any better. Beautiful night and a good start.
Absolutely. Yeah, you get 2 turnovers in the first, 6 minutes or so of the game. That's definitely a good way to start, especially when you haven't had that many to start out with. They'd only recovered 2 fumbles and had 1 interception coming in, so they'd only turned the opponent over 3 times coming into this game. So they've nearly doubled that count here.
So Barchuk trying to gain some clarity.
Definitely Dan Minix there trying to help sort out what happened here. All the flags
Well, while this is going on, Sean Sandy will attempt the point after the kicker for the Dragons, the 5'8" sophomore. And this has been an odd game, and we just started, Michael.
Yeah, definitely. Are you surprised? I'm here. He's 2 for 3 this season on point after attempts, is Sandy. So, again, the penalties are being forced after on.
And a bad snap. Ball still on the ground. It falls. Sandy just kind of looked at it. The point after is no good. And wow, it has been sloppy to say the least.
Looked like looked like somebody didn't know the ball was going to get snapped. I don't know where it went wrong, but
Sandy just kind of looked at the football
Yeah.
at that point. You pick it up and try to make a play.
Right.
But Township and Kingsway here in Woolwich, New Jersey. The Dragons on top 6-0. We talked before about the importance of Kingsway getting on the board first, but Mike, it's been such a strange first quarter already. You almost feel like Kingsway doesn't even have momentum, even though they've had the best of play.
Yeah, it's been so choppy, and you had the first that one series. I mean, they lost nearly 20 yards on it. This one, they get one big play. It wasn't like they're building anything. One big play, and then another mess here where they then can't convert the PAT. So, but you know what? Sometimes, and Rob, as a coach, sometimes winning ugly, it's still a win, right?
No question, but one of the things as a coach, despite the fact that you like to win, you also like to see execution. You want to feel like as a coach that what you're trying to teach them is coming through. And in addition, you also understand that you can't continue to win if you play that way. You may get away once or twice, but that's not how you win in the playoffs. See the watch.
But you got to get there.
That's true, and that's what we talked about. This is big for Kingsway. Without this, they're not getting there. In the background, you see head coach Mark Wechter just out of our screen. Here you see one of the coordinators for Washington Township, and right now Tony Barchuk and the Kingsway coaching staff just trying to calm this team down. I mean, again, this kick is going to result in Washington Township having phenomenal field position.
Yeah, they marked off the one penalty. Now they're marking off the second one. You'd think the first one, and it was actually, the first one was 15. The second one's half the distance because it was inside the 30, Rob. So
I have never, I'm an old man. I've seen a lot. I have never seen that before.
There's been a lot of strange goings on in sports lately, things people have never seen before.
Yeah, that's true. Well, that's the beauty of sports,
It is.
though, right?
Unbelievable.
You saw a quick shot of head coach Mark Wechter here at Washington Township. Wechter very excited about his team this year. Really loves the energy and togetherness this team has brought, and it feels that in large part that is why they've been successful.
Wechter in his 15th season overall, he's 65 and 76. 10th year at Washington Township, where he's put up good numbers there.
So the kick away, it's a squib kick, and he's going to kick it out of bounds. So, wow.
Now what?
Now I need a slide ruler to figure out where this ball's supposed to end up.
Well, they could make him kick it again and penalize him 5 more yards. You might as well do that if you're Washington Township, Rob.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, pretty soon they're going to be kicking it from the goal line.
Here you see the officials tonight. Dan Minix, your referee. Bill Ackley, the umpire. Ken Beam, your lines judge. Frank Salenko, line judge. Mark Andrews, Mike Galinda, and Bruce Davidson on the clock. Bruce has been around a few days. We were always up here with Bruce. All right, so they are going to back them up again. Pretty soon they're going to be right on the Commodore Barry Bridge.
No, they changed their mind. Township's taking the ball now.
Wow, this has been one confusing. What if, we still got over 5.5 minutes left in this game. I mean, this first quarter, I should say. Okay, so we have it settled here. First down and 10 for the Minutemen at the 37-yard line of Kingsway. They've turned the ball over via the interception and the punt return. Trips left for Paperno. Deep drop, throws underneath, sets up the screen. Inside screen, well designed, and that'll be close to and beyond the first down marker. It looked like Grasso, the recipient of the throw from Paperno.
Grasso yet again. He's been their best offensive weapon so far. Again, that 22.6 yards per catch average is, he's not quite hitting that, but you'll take a first down every time with a smile.
So Township trying to generate some momentum here. First down and 10, their first down of the evening. Clock moving. We're at 5:15 and counting remaining in this first quarter. Again, 4 receivers set in this spread offense. Paperno out of the shotgun. And we have movement. I believe this one's going to go against Township.
You got guys pointing on each side. Dylan Headley, the tailback for Township, pointing at the Kingsway. Kingsway lineman pointing at Township. Headley, by the way, 5'9", 150-pound senior, 48 carries this year, 193 yards and a score.
Offsides is the call against Kingsway.
He's coming off a broken foot from last year, though, Rob, so he's been limited at times this season. He's had some swelling in that foot and all, so it's been a little bit of a challenge to get him going, but averaging 4 yards a carry.
And Kingsway finds another way to shoot itself in the foot. First down and 5 now with about 5 left. Paperno inside a handoff, and not a whole lot there as we saw Dylan Headley with the football once again.
You'll see Headley on both sides of the ball too, who plays cornerback as well. But again, with that injury, Cooper Bentz comes in once in a while at the corner to spell him. You also see another tailback get in to give Headley a rest here and there. That's a sophomore, Colin Mintel, who's had just a handful of carries or so, but averaging 7 yards a carry.
All right, the clock is not currently moving.
You get a gain of 1, so we're up 2nd and 4.
Not sure what we have another issue on the field.
Official timeout. They're going to measure it. Looks like maybe.
No,
Oh, there was a problem over there with the chains on the far side.
we've had a problem. 2nd down, and we'll call it 4. And now we'll restart the clock. 4:40 and counting. Paperno again looking at a 4-receiver set. Three-step drop. Finds his man, and he quickly hits Tim Seagreaves. Seagreaves, a talented athlete, plays on the Township baseball team in addition to being one of the targets of Paperno.
Seagreaves 5 catches this year coming into today for 98 yards, so that's number 6 for him there. He does have 2 touchdowns receiving. He usually works out of the slot when they go to the spread, and you see him, he's lined up again in that spot now on the near side.
First down, and inside again, Headley. He's taken down at about the 6-yard line. So this is the type of drive that as a coach you like, because always positive yardage, really establishing your will, maintaining possession of the football, and kind of creating a foundation.
Exactly, that's what you were talking about earlier. Kingsway hasn't had any momentum going their way. Washington Township's building something up here. Rob Milano, senior, with the tackle there from the defensive end spot.
2nd down and goal just outside the 6-yard line.
Milano came into today with just 9 total tackles on the season.
Trips left for Paperno. Quick drop, looks to his left, throws, and no signal, touchdown.
Wow.
A nice little catch by Grosso, as it looked like Kingsway had an opportunity to maybe pick that off, but Grosso stole it, and we are tied at 6, awaiting the point after.
We got to get another look at that, because that's a heck of a catch for Nick Grosso there. His 5th receiving touchdown of the season, 6th total touchdown. He's got an interception return as well this year, but that was something else. One-handed grab, pulled it in, rolling over across the goal line. Real nice.
And again, we'll see Cooper Bentz on to attempt the point after. The left-handed kicker. Is quite the leg. Kick is down. It's good. So, with 3:34 remaining, Township on top by 1. So many things to talk about already between the lack of discipline on the Kingsway team. We've had a holding penalty. We've had 2 unsportsmanlike penalties. We've had an offsides penalty, a procedure penalty. Then on the other hand, we've had an interception and a dropped punt return from Township. Not really what you would expect from these 2 class teams.
No, but as you said before, during this drive, Township certainly put something together here on that drive. Looked very strong. They didn't do it running the football, though. They did it mostly through the air. And that's the one thing Coach Wechter said, running the football against Kingsway is a challenge. And, he didn't know that maybe that was going to be the way to advance the ball down the field. Obviously, they like to throw it. That plays into their strength. That's what they want to do with the ball tonight. And running on, Wechter was telling me, Kingsway held Hamilton, their rushing offense in check this year earlier on. And in his opinion, Hamilton's the best running team in South Jersey. So he thinks real highly of that Kingsway run defense. He thinks real highly of Coach Tony Barchuk, too, talking about the toughness that he instills in this program and has for a number of years now here in South Jersey.
Cooper Bentz will kick it away once again. One thing to talk about, Bentz is a left-handed kicker, left-footed kicker, I guess. He can't be left-handed, but that creates some problems as a returner. And a squib kick picked up. Oates is going to pick it up from his 11-yard line. Busted right up the middle. Oates breaks free across the 40. Oates has Bentz to beat. Oates cuts it inside, and it is Bentz who brings him down. Bentz started at his 11 all the way down to the 24-yard line of Township, and another big play to boost this Dragons offense.
65 yards on the return. Something else there for Kingsway. It's big plays tonight, Rob. They're getting big plays. They got the interception, the fumble recovery. They get this play here. The touchdown run was a long, electrifying play. So Kingsway is striking big, striking loudly, whereas Township's been pounding away.
That's a good way of putting it. First down and 10 at the 24-yard line. Oreo underneath center. He's got a full house backfield. Takes the handoff, rolls to his right, beats one man, tries to cut it inside. Oreo's still on his feet, and he'll fall forward. A lot of work to gain 2 or 3 yards.
That Township defensive line is really coming hard and not giving Oreo much time to operate.
You talked before about how they're missing their best player in Merrill. They run a 3-4 defense. Their best linebacker is probably Najee Wilson, who they have playing as a cornerback just to be a shutdown corner.
Yeah.
He's ideal for a 3-4, and yet Coach Mark Wechter says, you know what, there's no one who can cover better than Najee Wilson, so we sacrifice his ability as a linebacker, and we take advantage of the fact he's going to shut down their #1 target. First down, a gain of 2 or 3, so we're down at deep into Township territory on second down, and again, not much doing.
Wilson's number 3 there. You see him playing at the corner spot. He's apparently getting some looks from Rutgers and Temple. The coach says he'll play outside linebacker at the next level for sure. He loves to hit. He's got 17 tackles and a pick this year. And coming into the year, Rob, he was ranked by one scouting service as the top safety in New Jersey, which he's playing corner. Coach thinks he's going to be an outside linebacker at the collegiate level. So real interesting, but they think he can make a bigger impact for them at corner.
And that's how you have to do it. Not what your best position is, what your best position is for this team. Third down and 9. Oreo has had a lot of pressure. He'll hand it quickly inside and cut down about the 20-yard line. That looked to be C's. So fourth down, and we'll see a decision to be made here. Nice play by Nick Evangelista, another player who's a multi-sport athlete, a fine baseball player, member of the Carpenter Cup baseball team for the Minutemen.
Evangelista, 5'9", 195, had 13 tackles coming into the season, and as well as a fumble recovery that he scored a touchdown off of.
1:25 left, and they're going to go for it on fourth down. Fourth down and about 6. Oreo. And it looks like we're going to have another penalty. Nope, timeout, Kingsway. So they're going to talk about it. Obviously a big play here. Mike, I've been doing Kingsway football for a long time. We find ourselves over here. Always a lot of fun to do. Some tremendous players have come out of this program. But, it's funny. Very few solid kickers coming out of Kingsway, and they've always struggled with point afters and the kicking game, and this is kind of indicative of that. Your ball's at the 20-yard line. You have an opportunity to kick maybe a 37-yard field goal, but if you don't have a guy who can do it, you can't do it.
And there's not a lot of guys that are going to kick 37-yard field goals in high school either.
In Group 5, you're going to have guys doing that.
Yeah, at your bigger schools, but for the most part, when you're talking about high school football, 37's kind of on the fringe there for most guys. So yeah, surprising that a school this size, you can't steal one kid off the soccer team, right?
Right.
Hey, why don't you come kick?
And which is, you mentioned that in some states you can play more than one sport.
Right.
In the state of New Jersey, you can't do that. So in a lot of sports, that's exactly what they do. Listen, come on over tonight and kick us a field goal or two.
Absolutely.
4th down and 6. Trips right for Oreo and the Dragons. In motion, it's Seas. Oreo will roll to his right. Looks, throws, tipped, nothing doing, and this will be turned over on downs.
Grosmick, the junior, coming from the defensive end, got the piece of that football, but we've got a flag on the play.
I think it's going to be waved off because of the tipped football.
Yeah, they're going to say picking up the flag, no call. The ball was deflected first, so no pass interference. I guess that's the only call that would have been made there. If they'd pick it up, if it was holding, regardless of when, it would have been a different story. So Township takes over here, 1st and 10 at their own 20 now. Probably, I guess, their worst field position to start, I think, so far.
1st and 10, 72 seconds left in this sloppy first quarter. 7-6, Minutemen on top. Paperno underneath center here. High formation, they'll hand it off, and again, we mentioned before, this Kingsway defense does not give up a whole lot, and Headley struggles to find 2 or 3.
But you have to run it, Rob. You have to run it to keep that defense honest. You can't just let them sit back and say, hey, they're throwing every time, and sit back and wait for it. You've got to do that once in a while, regardless of what your game plan is, to keep the defense honest and make them honor your running game.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, they'll just, defensive ends are going to come flying at the quarterback, and the corners can sit back and just, play man and find a guy and mark up.
Absolutely. 2 receivers split right. Again, I formation with Paperno under center. The pitch. Coming right into your living room. And cut down after a short gain. Headley again, your ball carrier.
And Arlen LaRue is playing defensive tackle there, number 63, senior, 6 foot 271, 19 tackles this season. But he kind of helps string that thing out because Headley was trying to set up his fullback, McKeever, and wait for that block. McKeever made the block, but LaRue came around there and kind of didn't give Headley the opportunity to take advantage of it. He had to kind of slow down because he had that defender in front of him, so he couldn't really pop that run where he wanted to.
Well, that will end things here in the first quarter. We will head to break. It's the Minutemen on top of the Dragons, 7-6. Back at Woolwich, New Jersey's Kingsway High School, where they trail 7-6, Rob Christ along with Mike Shute. A little problem starting things here in the second quarter. The theme will continue. 3rd down and 2. And a handoff inside for Township. That will be more than enough for the first down.
They go to the fullback, McKeever there, who had 33 carries for 85 yards coming into this one. Just 1 touchdown, 2.6 yards a carry. He got about 2.6, a little bit more there to get the first down, but he only needed 3, so.
In that first quarter, Paperno, 4 for 5 for 36 yards with 1 interception. Headley, 5 carries for 21 yards.
First down, Washington Township.
1st down and 10, Township able to move the ball once again, and Paperno continues to be under center out of this eye. Handoff, and again, it is Headley cut down with a gain of about 2 or 3. You see inside, we talk about John Dorman, who's been a force here already.
Yeah, Dorman upended him there. Real hard hit. Dorman was not listed in the starting lineup tonight, but making an impact now.
And that indicates some of the depth that they have on this Kingsway football team. 2nd down and 7. Now Paperno working out of the shotgun. 4 receivers set in this spread offense. High snap, hands inside, spin move, not much there. And again, you can see just how tough it is to run against this vaunted defense. Headley is finding space, hard to come by.
Jay Skirbo, 44, in there on the hit. Wechter was talking about Skirbo a little bit. He said watching this kid on film, they're sitting watching this kid on film, they're saying he can just play, flat out play football. He's a coach's son, and when you get a kid like that who's grown up around the game, he just causes problems out there because he knows what's happening out there.
Third down, trips left. Paperno again working out of the shotgun. He will roll to his left. Penalties down, and the ball falls incomplete as he tries to find Justin Ortiz. We'll see what the call is here.
Probably going to be holding against Township. It looked like Wale Mustafa, the 6-foot, 225-pound senior, was in pursuit, and they held him. That's another guy Wechter said they got to be aware of is Mustafa, number 40. He just said number 45, didn't know his number.
Mustafa, a senior, as you mentioned, 19 tackles on the season coming into tonight and 1 sack.
Now, and Wechter said Mustafa is a better player than Denzel Polk from last year. Polk, of course, went on to play at the Naval. He's playing at the Naval Academy now. So they need to neutralize him on the pass rush. That's a big part of what Township's offense needs to do tonight, according to Coach Wechter. Couldn't do it there, though. They had to help hold him.
We'll see whether he avoids Samuel. Bents a nice high punt, and the ball is going to fall short. And a good roll for Township will find its way inside the 20-yard line. And again, just one more weapon that this Township team has. Special teams Bents with the 42-yard punt.
Yeah, when you got a guy like that, and he's versatile. I mean, you're talking about punting and place kicking. 2 totally different things, really. That's why they've got 2 totally different guys that do it at most levels. High school, you can't really afford to do that. But when you have a kid who's athletic enough and can just flat out kick, you're in luck. And Township's got a good one there. And, Coach Wechter was, singing his praises all the time, talking about his Division I leg and how much he's really been a lifesaver for this team. Now, how many times do you hear coaches talk about a kicker being a lifesaver?
Oreo on the keeper. He carries it to about the 24-yard line, 2nd and 6.
I'll tell you what, I've been surprised at the number of times Oreo's carried the ball. He's only carried it 4 times for 27 yards coming into tonight, so perhaps Kingsway saw something on film that said, hey, maybe there's a weakness there, maybe there's a soft spot in that center part of the line that they can exploit. And when you have a 3-4 defense, sometimes there is a little gap there. So maybe they saw something on tape that they said, hey, we can exploit that.
Again, working out of the eye. Handoff, sees a quick little juke, still on his feet. Cuts it inside. Look at that burst. Sees across the 50 to the 40. No one is going to catch Anthony Sees.
Wow. That was electric. 75 yards, Rob. And Kingsway continues the theme of the night. Big plays. They're just making them. Unbelievable speed from Seas. It looked like the 2 of those guys were going to catch him. And then he just turned on the jets when he got to about the 40 of Township, and he was gone.
Well, that was impressive. He kind of worked his way through a little bit of interference, and then he just took off.
And it looked like Township had a run blitz on there, Rob. And once he got past that, it was clear sailing for him because everybody was crowding the line of scrimmage. They had at least 8 in the box there, and he was able to just take off.
We mentioned before that he has ACC and some other bigger schools after him. Now you can see why. Just electric on that run. So they're going to go for 2 here. Oreo out of the shotgun. Quick drop. Oreo has a man, and he overthrows him. 12-7. Kingsway. Well, at some point, they have to start making some conversions. If this game continues to turn into an offensive game, then those single-digit points start to add up.
Well, you know what they need to do? Get a few penalties and make it like a 75-yard conversion. Seas will run it in because that's what they've been. That's been tonight for Kingsway, Rob. Big plays. They've hit a couple of them, and and they've got the turnovers on defense. So they're making things happen.
You see Samuels there. Barchuk went over, probably giving them some insight in terms of the route he ran or whatever it may have been. But that's what you love about Tony Barchuk. You know, when you talk to someone like Tony, high-intensity guy, very, very much respected throughout the coaching community. But you know that the kids have to love to play for someone that always gives you 100%, and you kind of just are motivated by his passion, his continued passion for so many years.
And he's a teacher too, and he's always teaching out there. When he's coaching softball, when he's helping with, he coaches basketball, he coaches here. He's always like got a little lesson for somebody at some point. He's always got the right word. I mean, it comes with experience, but sometimes, Rob, guys are just cut out for that.
Sandy kicks it away and take to a knee. It's received inadvertently on the knee by Township, and a little bit of a mistake there by Saif Albergawi.
Interesting. I don't know that his knee hit the ground, Rob. I really don't. It was
I don't know if
close.
we'll have a chance to look at that or not, but
only one official call that they all did.
You know, all it takes is one blade, right?
Exactly.
Number 2, Saif Albergawi.
So we'll see what happens here. First and goal back at their own 15. So Township with a lot of real estate in front of them here. 9:02 left to go in the second quarter, trailing by 5.
Again, a bit of a break for this Dragons defense. And again, we talked about this being the strength of their team. Now it's going to be a long drive if Township wants to come away with some points here. They trail 12-7. Paperno. Quick outlet pass, finds his man, and a big hit laid out as Township's Anthony LaRosa, Colin Meintel, is lowered by a couple different Dragons out there.
I'm not sure if that wasn't a lateral too, Rob. That looked like that may have been behind the line of scrimmage. So had he dropped that ball, that thing's live.
Loss of 1, second down and 11.
Naj Ward was in on the tackle there, 5'11", 201-pound senior. Ward with just 5 tackles on the season. So he steps in there and makes a play.
Paperno again with a 4-receiver set, working out of the shotgun. 4-step drop, flushed out of the pocket, rolls to his right, throws it up, and nobody's going to be home as looking for his receiver. And Paperno zigged while Najee Wilson zagged.
And the thing about that pass, though, Rob, maybe the quarterback running that way is going to just chuck it out of bounds sometimes and just, eat the play. But he threw it in a spot where either Wilson's getting it or nobody's getting it, because Wilson had a step on the defender and he threw it past him.
We mentioned before that Wilson is a talented athlete, maybe the top player defensively now that Merrill has gone on that Washington Township defense. And it's an opportunity for Paperno just to throw the ball up and maybe allow him to use his athleticism.
Wilson with 15 catches this year for 95 yards coming into tonight with
Trips
2
left.
touchdowns.
And a penalty called here again. And it looks like it's going to be a procedure penalty against Washington Township. So that will back them up now. 3rd and 16. Again, just so many mistakes by both of these teams.
Tons of flags tonight on the field, most of them against Kingsway, but the Dragons will be happy to accept this one against the Minutemen here. Put them back now in 3rd and about 17, it'll look like. Actually called about 3rd and 19.
Now, if you were my other partner, Sean, I would tell you that they have as many flags as you had in your high school report card.
But I'm not Sean.
3rd down. And we'll call it 16.
Yes.
Trips left. Paperno. Quarterback draw. He's in the backfield. Slips a tackle very close to his safety. No indication here. It looks like they're going to mark it at about the 1-yard line.
Wow. They've got the ball on, the goal line, Rob. It's literally right on the goal line. I don't know how he got out of the end zone, Paperno. I have no idea. How is that possible?
Well, it's interesting because when they reset the football
they
just now,
forward,
they
right?
actually moved it forward.
That was odd. Skirbo gets credit for the sack. Coach Barchuk's yelling at his return men to move up, move up. They're back at the 50. He wants them up around the 40. But hey, this punter's got a big leg. You don't want to go too far forward.
And Bentz kicks it away. Finds Sees at the 37-yard line. He swings it around. What a big block laid out. Sees at the 30. At the 20. Sees still on his feet. And he's finally brought down at about the 10-yard line. And we have a Washington Washington Township player down on the field.
Well, the block was made by Kingsway's number 31. And that was Chase Matthews, who just buried him. It was number 2, Sif Albarkawe. And wow, what a block. He got crushed, absolutely crushed. But he's walking off the field, so give him credit for getting up and getting off the field. But wow, that was right on the edge of being in the back, too. I mean, he got him just before that could have been a block in the back.
Kingsway has excellent field position.
First down for Kingsway, and ball just spotted at the 11-yard line, so they can get a first down here. The clock, 7:04 remaining, and that's the type of play that can really change the game.
Absolutely.
Oreo,
Special teams.
gain of 1, second down and 9 at the 10. Hopefully, Albarkawi will be okay.
That's the kind of thing where you can hurt your neck because you're not looking, and all of a sudden, plow, right out of the side, he got hit. And your head just kind of swings back, whack. But he got up.
Second down at the 10. 6:28 and counting. Kingsway leads 12-7. I formation, and Oreo directing traffic. Botched handoff, and it's Seas. Seas driving forward, still not down. Seas still driving forward. Seas
this?
refuses to quit.
That was unbelievable. That was unbelievable. You're talking about 10 guys in black jerseys and I think 9 guys in white jerseys all in that pile.
It looked like there was about 7 C's.
At least. That was unbelievable. But you know what happened, Rob? The snap, I think Oreo dropped it, and it came right back up to him. So the fact of the matter is they got like 6 yards on that play, which could have been a loss of 1 or 2.
Third down and 1. We mentioned they can get a first down here. Looks like it's probably more closer to 2 or 3, actually, just inside that 4-yard line. Inside of 5:30 out of the I formation, Oreo and the Dragons. Quick handoff inside, and Skirbo lunges forward. He'll be very close to the first down. We'll see where they spot this.
And that was a little bit of a mess because you had Samuels was at the tailback spot. I think it was him, 6. He came flying up full speed. He thought he was getting the ball. He crashed into Oreo, but Skirbo already had him, was going the other way. So that was a little odd.
First down and 10 for the Dragons. And again, this is a confidence booster as the Dragons pushing back that Washington Township line. I formation, Oreo. And again, he'll hand off. And just nothing doing there. You know, it seems as though every one of these exchanges is a bit of an adventure.
Yeah, absolutely. Nick Becht made sure that the adventure, though, went backwards that time. Had 36 tackles coming into this ball game. The 6'1", 210-pound senior there, number 54. You see him working from the inside linebacker spot. He is the leading tackler on the team coming into tonight. Again with 36.
Second down at the 2.
Yeah,
loss of 1 on the play.
They gave him the forward progress, so.
I formation again for Oreo. Handoff inside. No, he pitches, touchdown. Great deception play, and Samuels finds his way. Had everybody pulled, including the Township defense, and Kingsway extends their lead.
That was pretty. That was well done, well designed. Oreo kept it just long enough, Rob. He kept it long enough to draw the defense, and then wham, pitch it out. And he had a little seam there, a little crack between the offensive line and the slot guy, and he was able to slip through there.
Again, Sandy will be on. They had the botched attempt the first time out. He will try to extend this lead. The kick is up, and the kick is good. So Kingsway now on top, 19-7 with 4:18 remaining in this first half.
It is now
You know, if you're Tony Barchuk, obviously you're very pleased having a 12-point lead, but if you were to tell Tony Barchuk, look, you're going to have 5 or 6 penalties in that first half.
Or 7 or 8.
You know, I don't think anybody would think they're going to be up 12 points against an outstanding Washington Township team.
Certainly not so that, but they've got the big plays, Rob. They've gotten those big plays tonight. They've got the 75-yard touchdown. They had the huge punt return there to set up that last touchdown. They've had the interception. They've had the fumble recovery.
That's the thing. They're winning the turnover battle, and that's really been the difference here. We mentioned before that Kingsway has struggled there, and that's something that Township has won repeatedly.
And the other thing, too, when you look at the numbers coming into tonight, Rob, Township hasn't had big plays this year. Their longest rushing play was 22 yards. Their longest pass play this season, I think, was 36 yards. So they don't have that quick strike kind of thing going on that Kingsway's shown tonight. Township has been able to grind it, and they've shown that tonight. They can grind it out and dink and dunk and move down the field, but they haven't had that quick strike attack.
And if you're Mark Wechter in Washington Township, that's exactly what you want right here. You want to have the opportunity to grind out a long, consistent drive, eat up the rest of the clock in this first half, and have the momentum going into the locker room.
Yeah, pulled it within 5 or maybe 4 if you go for 2.
Sandy will kick it away. Low line drive, and this will be taken at the 18-yard line. And good news, Albercawe on the return. He was the one who was shaken up earlier, and he'll be finally stopped at about the 35-yard line.
Another scrum there, though. This is looking like a rugby game tonight with all these huge piles.
So Ryan Jackson on your tackle, 4:09 now. Kingsway will play some defense at the 35-yard line. Township will look to try to establish a prolonged drive. And again, with the arm of Paperno and the many weapons that he has in his arsenal here, they will try to mix it up, eat up some clock, and generate some momentum going into the locker room.
You know what, I apologize. The Township does have one long play this year, 76 yards on a pass play that Grasso had a catch and run. So they do have that. They do have one, but they don't have a lot of those big plays. Was my point.
4 receivers set. 1 running back for Paperno working out of the shotgun. Quick drop, has a man in the flat, and it quickly caught and tackled is Nick Grasso. We mentioned before Grasso. You know, I asked Coach Wechter before the game. I said, you know, what's the deal between Paperno and Grasso? They seem to have good chemistry. He said, you know, to be honest with you, that's not really the case. It's not that they have great chemistry. He just happens to be the guy who's catching it more. He said he feels as though Paperno has great chemistry with all of his receivers, and right now it's just Grasso kind of has the hot hand. The thing that he loves about Grasso, if you throw it in his direction, he's a playmaker. He's going to catch the football.
Yeah, we saw it there on that touchdown that he scored. That was something else, one-hand grab.
Again, working out of the eye. They're at midfield now, and still plenty of time. 4:03 left in this half. Paperno, 3-step drop, flushed out of the pocket. Paperno using his escapability. He's across midfield, and he's driven out of bounds. And we're going to have a late hit here as Paperno is still down. So it looks like we're going to have a personal foul penalty. We've had so many penalties already in this first half, and Paperno is still shaking the cobwebs.
He's headed towards the sideline. I don't know if he's coming out. He usually just goes over to get the play. So another flag, though, Rob, goes against Kingsway here.
Well, that'll put it down to about the 33-yard line of Kingsway. I know we've said it so many times, but Kingsway just has to play a little bit more discipline.
They've got to be over 80 yards of penalties already tonight. I mean, that's going to hurt you at some point. They're winning right now 19-7, but they got to be careful.
First down and 10 at the 33, 3:56 left for Paperno. Again, that 4-receiver set in this spread offense. Deep drop, Paperno. Escapes, bides time, and now will work his way outside. And Paperno will pick up some positive yardage as good coverage by that Kingsway secondary.
Yeah, given the fact that Township likes to throw the ball so much, Rob, Kingsway's got extra D-backs in there, and they're all hanging back. You know, that's why Paperno's got that time to kind of scramble around. He's getting pressured, but he's not to the point where he's got to get rid of the ball.
Second down, and we'll call it 4. Headley on the short side of the field, spread left. And inside handoff, absolutely nothing there. A big play as 25's Colin Meintel shut down, the sophomore. Not a whole lot of room to operate.
Again, Mustafa in there with the hit. You see him, number 45 there. He came in with 26 tackles, a fumble recovery, a hurry this year. 6 foot, 225 pounds. He is the driving force of that defense, and that's the one guy that Coach Wechter said they've got to neutralize. Well, again, didn't stop him there.
It looks like there may be some jawing back and forth, and the officials wisely get a couple of the captains together, tell them to just kind of play some football here. So third down and about 3:20 remaining in this first half. We'll call it 5. Paperno again with trips right. Meintel in the backfield. He'll roll to his right. Paperno looks, has a man underneath, and it is caught.
It's Justin Ortiz, number 5, with the grab. He came in with 18 receptions, 207 yards, and a touchdown this year. The 6 foot, 185-pound junior. He also returns kicks once in a while. He's got 3 of those this year with an average of 21.3 yards per return.
So Township, as we mentioned, hoping for a long drive here that will come away with points. Well, they've had the long drive portion, and they're still on their way. Ball at the 20-yard line, and Paperno again with trips left. The spread offense has been effective throughout the year for Township. Paperno throws underneath, has his man, and he's brought down at about the 15-yard line. Paperno showing off that strong arm as he finds Tim Seagreaves.
And he's a big target, Rob. 6'3", 215, big wide receiver. He certainly, gives himself a real nice target gives the quarterback a real nice target to throw to. He's got a good wingspan. You know, you throw that ball in an area, he's going to bring it in.
Second down and 5. We're inside of 2 minutes now. Paperno and the Township offense, aided by that 15-yard personal foul, setting up the screen, and well read. Nicely read. Sniffed out by the Dragons, and not anything there. Again, it was Seagreaves.
Might have been a loss, actually, of a couple, but looked like Seagreaves got hit almost before the ball got there.
Wechter and Township allowing the clock to continue to run with a minute 24 left. Third down and 6. They have their full complement of timeouts, so they still have plenty of time here. 4 receiver set. Paperno out of the shotgun once again. Deep drop. Paperno with a lot of time, throws it, and miscommunication. That falls incomplete. We'll see whether Bentz comes out for the field goal.
And Paperno just frustrated with himself there. As soon as he let go of it, you just saw him go, blew that. You know, I messed that one up. You know how you feel when you know what you were trying to do and you just didn't pull it off?
Well, we mentioned before that Bentz has a big leg. He's kicked a 47-yarder already.
And he did that in a nor'easter that night a couple weeks back.
So I had anticipated him taking a shot at this field goal. Again, this would have ended up only being about a 35-yarder.
Unless you're trying to maybe draw a penalty here, Rob, and get a little closer, and then going to call it with 3 timeouts. Maybe that's what they're going to do.
Inside of a minute remaining, Paperno rolls to his left. Has time, now flushed out of the pocket. Paperno will cut across the grain. Still biding time. Kingsway only rushing 2 guys. Gets some pressure now. Fastest man, touchdown!
Wow. How did he do that? how did Ortiz get open like that? Because he wasn't moving much. I was watching the receivers as Paperno's scrambling around, and most of the receivers were all just kind of standing watching, and they were all covered. The defenders were all within arm's distance of him, and then all of a sudden Ortiz winds up in the end zone, and the guy guarding him was 3 yards upfield. I don't know how he got open, but great throw by Paperno. That thing was a dart. Credit to him.
Bentz will come on to attempt the point after. 19-13. You know, again, you have that spread offense. You're forced to have so many people back in coverage. It allows your quarterback to go and create opportunities, and that's exactly what he did. Bentz's kick is up, and it is good. So with 45 seconds and change remaining, it is 19-14, the Dragons on top.
So how about that decision to go for it on 4th down and get the touchdown? I mean, you know, sometimes you take a crack at something and it works out, and it did there for Township. It worked out real well. Again, you give Paperno some credit for that. That ball was really thrown well, and Ortiz got himself open for the touchdown. Just good work by Ortiz to stay with it. But like I said, I was watching the receivers, and a lot of them weren't really doing a lot to get themselves open. They were kind of watching Paperno to see what he was going to do. But then somehow Ortiz busted loose there in the corner, off the corner there into the end zone. But
you know, it's so difficult for any team to cover receivers for that length of time. I mean, they begin to ad-lib, and then you have just breakdowns defensively. The zone breaks down, the single-man coverage breaks down, and if you give Paperno that much time, or any quarterback, you're probably going to come away with some positive yardage. Paperno, as you mentioned, threw a dart, and a nice play. It's as scripted. We talked about what did Township want. They want a prolonged drive and some points headed into the locker room, and we'll see whether or not Kingsway can do anything with 45 seconds. But one disadvantage is Kingsway is generally a team that likes to run the ball as opposed to going through the air.
Right, and they used about 3 minutes and 15 seconds or so there to put that drive together, Rob. It wasn't, they didn't pound it, they didn't grind it out. They made a couple nice plays, a couple big plays down the field, and were able to get on the scoreboard. Regardless of how they did it, and that's what's important for Township going into the locker room, Rob, because, again, momentum will be on their side here, especially if they can prevent any more big plays from Kingsway here in the final 45 seconds.
Well, we'll see if Bentz squibs his kick to avoid Samuels. It is a little pooch kick, and it'll be down at about the 35-yard line. 45 seconds left for the Dragons.
I'll tell you what, one player for Township just came flying through there, number 20 for the Minutemen. That was Justin Calkins came flying in there. He was going full head of steam because that kick kind of went over that first layer of Kingsway and into that dead zone between that where the return guys were. So there was time to get to it if they were able to.
Oreo again out of the eye. He'll hand it off to C. C's will cut it outside, and he is brought down. He'll lose yards.
And Township still with 3 timeouts, Rob. Maybe you take one here. You know, make Kingsway do something. You know, just force their hand a little bit. But they're not going to.
2nd down and 13 for the Dragons. Clock continues to move inside of 20 seconds now. And we'll see whether or not they have the ability to run the clock out entirely here.
I think so. They may have. I think there was more than a. Yeah, that's going to do it.
And that'll do it for the first half. Well, we've seen a little bit of everything thus far. A little bit sloppy at times, very exciting throughout. We head to the half. It is the Dragons from Kingsway on top of Township, 19-14. You're watching Gloucester County Educational Network. Welcome back to Kingsway High School. We begin the second half. Kingsway kicking off to Washington Township, and the ball rolls, picked up about the 16-yard line, finding a seam, well on his way into the 44-yard line. A nice return by Saif Alberkawi, He was the player that was laid out in that first half, and he has come back with a vengeance. 19-14.
24-yard
Kingsway on top. And the junior Saif Al-Barkawi with about a 30-yard return.
Now Township, Rob, they scored going out of the first half. Scored late with 45 seconds left to go. They get the ball back here to start the second half, so they're right back in this thing.
Inside handoff again. Township will try to soften up the middle of that defense, and that is Meintel.
It was actually McKeever, I think, the fullback, with the carry. His second or third of the night. He's had very few. Had 33 coming into this one for 85 yards. But a good gain there, 5 on first down. That's a good way to start.
I formation for Paperno. Quick handoff inside, and again, driving forward. That will be more than enough for the first down. Township trying to flex his muscles as they go right back to big Michael McKeever.
Play by number 14, Rob Milano. It's a gain of 7. And Washington Township first down. Ball spotted at the Kingsway 40.
So 2 nice gains for McKeever to start things off here for Township. A gain of 5, followed by a gain of 7. That's an average of 6 yards, Rob, if you do the math, right? Nothing like starting off with 6 yards of play to start the half. That's nice. Good way to start.
First down and 10. Again, Township inside of Kingsway territory. Paperno, and he's sacked.
Under pressure.
Rob Milano, his first sack of the season. Number 14, the senior, 6'2", 210, came flying in. They had really both the defensive ends had a clear shot there to make a play, and Milano was the one that got credit for it. But Paperno had to, he had pressure coming from both sides. He tried to roll away from one, but got it at the other side.
Big loss there, Kingsway forcing Township back to the 49-yard line. Second down and 16. Paperno has done a great job with his offense, really coming in here with a tremendous amount of confidence, great relationship with his coaching staff, and it has turned into quite a year. Paperno fakes, rolls to his right, time, throws underneath, big hit laid out, but not before picking up a sizable chunk. Down at about the 38-yard line is number 14, Nick Grasso.
Grasso, another nice catch and run. We got an illegal man downfield against Township, so that one's coming back. That would have been a pickup of about 8-9 yards there, but that's going to be nullified, and you're going to be looking at, instead of 2nd and 16, you're going to have a 2nd and about 21 here, or is it to a 10-yard penalty? No, I think it's just 5. You'll have 2nd and 21.
Again, a lot of penalties today, and we're picking up in the third quarter where we left off in the first half.
Yeah, just like Kingsway started the game with penalties. When they possess the ball to start the ball game, Township's doing the same thing here. They start the second half possessing the ball with a couple penalties. 2nd
and 21, Paperno now back to the spread. 4 receiver set. Quick drop, flushed out of the pocket, throws underneath, falls incomplete. Paperno, you can see, throwing his 4-seam fastball there for Najee Wilson.
Just out of Wilson's reach. Again, fortunate that one wasn't picked off, because a lot of times you've got guys, converging to the ball there, and it was a little bit wide of Wilson. Sometimes that's going to be right in the hands of an oncoming defender.
Third down, this is a big play for Kingsway. You want to stay away from penalties here, and Township is trying to ensure that they do not turn the ball over. Again, 4 receiver set for Paperno, and Kingsway will rush forward, get some pressure, and Paperno sacked.
Milano again, I believe, on the play.
Now on that play, they're rushing 4. That's a big difference. That one extra guy making all the difference on that touchdown play, only rushing 3.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Milano with the sack there, his 2nd of the game, 2nd of this half, 2nd in the last couple minutes. And again, Kingsway, not a ton of sacks this season. They only had I think 3 coming in, so 2 today. They've gotten some big plays, Rob. Offensively, defensively, they've gotten turnovers. That's why Kingsway leads by 5. Bad snap.
A bad snap. Bentz picks it up and actually gets it away. What a tremendous job by Bentz.
Are you kidding me?
And Bentz is going to turn this play completely around. What a game changer is Bentz down inside the 20-yard line. Ironically, Mike, that's something that Bentz did earlier in the season. Coach Wechter told me that he's just so composed back there. Bad snap, sidestepped someone and got away a great punt with his left foot. It's deja vu all over again. Bentz really turning fortunes around for Township.
How about 50 yards on the punt there, Rob? That's ridiculous the way he pulled that off. I mean, and yeah, you were mentioning that he had a 60-yard punt against Shawnee. They were backed up into their own end zone. He was punting from the end zone, and that, again, just like you said here, turned things around. Turned it around, 60-yard punt. You're talking about a real change in field position. This one, of course, 50, and it puts Kingsway back inside their own 20.
Oreo with the football, he'll keep, and not a whole lot there.
Bentz has punted coming into today 17 times. 6 times, Rob, he's pinned the other team inside the 20 out of the 17. Pretty impressive number, averaging 41.1 yards per punt this season coming into today as well.
And Coach Wechter tells me that's tops in the state of New Jersey. 8:15 and counting, second down here for the Dragons.
Certainly didn't hurt himself there with that
No.
with that one.
No.
And that was, sometimes a guy who can punt and knows how to do it, you're getting more momentum because he was running quickly and he dropped it and got rid of it.
Quick to the hole, but not a whole lot there, was Seas. Third down. You kind of get a feeling that Kingsway needs a first down here to kind of take away the sting of that punt.
And just also to keep some momentum going. I mean, we're almost halfway through the quarter already, Rob, and Kingsway's only had two snaps.
Their offense has consisted primarily of Samuels and Seas. Not much success in the air for Oreo and the Dragons offense. They'll go to the spread. 4 receiver set for Oreo, working out of the shotgun. In motion, fakes the handoff, and he'll pitch. Looking to cut back.
Wow.
And still fighting forward, but far short. We're going to have a penalty flag. We may have a face mask.
That's huge if it is for Kingsway. That's going to get them a first down out of this if they do make that call. It seemed like the face mask may have happened early.
And now they're waving it off.
Yeah, I was going to say, the flag came in way after where I saw the face mask, or a supposed face mask may have occurred. They talked it over, though, and got it right, I think, Rob. I don't think he grabbed it. I don't think he got him in the face mask.
So the clock is stopped here.
Because that flag, and they had to pick it up.
And the punt is away. Back to the 40-yard line, and Kingsway with some solid special teams work has not a whole lot of room to operate for Washington Township's Grasso.
Tell you what, that wasn't a bad punt either, Rob. That was about a 40-yard punt, maybe 39.
Good coverage.
And a loss of a couple yards on the return. Great coverage, great job by Kingsway there. So the bad field position didn't kill him too much. Township's got, pretty good field position at their own 37, but they're not up at midfield.
First down and 10, again inside of 7 minutes. Kingsway with your lead. Kingsway, as you see, finished 7-4 last year, and they're going to need to turn around quickly to equal that mark. We talked before about Paperno with different looks. Up the middle, on his way through the secondary. McKeever. And McKeever brought down, but not before getting inside of the 10-yard line.
Heck of a play by Sean Oates to make that tackle, though. That's a hard tackle to make when you're trying to track somebody down like that from behind. But he took an angle and used the sideline as his helper and made that sideline an extra defender. So he kind of forced the running back McKeever to run out of room and just, bam, took out the legs.
We mentioned before kind of the importance of making a first down for Kingsway. And the play from Bentz certainly has changed the fortunes here of Washington Township. First down and goal. Paperno working out of I formation.
That was about a 65-yard run for McKeever. That puts him at 1st and goal here.
Nothing there, 2nd down.
Gavin Watson on the tackle, a 6'2", 242-pound sophomore. He might get a little bit bigger, I think.
Yeah.
And that could be trouble for a lot of teams that Kingsway faces in the future.
Including the grocery bill. 6 minutes left, 2nd down and goal for Township. 2 receivers split right. The pitch, stretching things out and cut down. A fine play made by Milano.
Yeah, I really like the way Rob Milano's playing tonight. 2 sacks. He made that play from behind. Well done. Good pursuit. Because I'm not sure if he's lined. Earlier he was lined up on the right side. I don't know if he was lined up on the left side or not, but if he was lined up on the right side on that play, that's an extra wow out of me because that's some great pursuit. Looks like he's lining up on the left though now. I see him on that side, so still a great play. But
3rd down and goal. And Paperno typically at his best when he's able to ad-lib. Again, they're going out of a pro set I formation. Paperno, play action, rolls, getting flushed out of the pocket. Paperno, we got a penalty flag and then another penalty flag. I'm going to say we got a hold and a hold on each team, and they're probably going to do it all over again.
Tell you what, before the snap, Rob, I was going to say, you know, the tight end in this Township offense has been underutilized, and that's who they went to that time, Liam Watson coming across. He had not caught a pass this season coming into this one, and it's not going to count either this time, but that's what they were looking for. Little tight end rolling across with the quarterback.
As I called it, holding on each side will allow Paperno to have another crack.
Now, you know, they call penalties, offsetting, they redo it. Why don't they just say, yeah, they offset, the play counts?
That's a good point.
We should do that going forward. Let's start a petition, Rob.
You draw it up, I'll sign it. 3rd down, and again, goal here for Township. Ball at the 6-yard line.
Because really all that does is waste 20 seconds of the game. Offsetting penalties. Nothing happens.
Now they come out of the spread. I was a little surprised last time on 3rd down. They didn't work out of the spread. They'll do it here. Paperno fakes the handoff. No, it is inside handoff. And again, it's tough to run on the interior of that Kingsway defense. You have to give these guys a lot of credit. I mean, another fine play there by John Dorman, who has been rock solid. James Curtis. This whole Kingsway line has been as advertised.
Dorman, not a big guy, 5'10", 186, but he plays big in there. He's strong. You could see it. I mean, he's clearing some traffic and making plays.
And again, they're not kicking a field goal. Again, a little surprised here. 2 field goals put you on top. You have Bentz, but they love Paperno and what he can do here. We'll see whether he can ad-lib like he did previously. Now, Paperno flushed out of the pocket. He's going to be in trouble. Paperno throws it up underneath. It's tipped up, and it's intercepted. Intercepted by Kingsway, and he'll be down at about the 10-yard line.
Eric Riley, number 22 with the pick. 5'9", 170-pound sophomore. Look at that. But the credit goes to the defensive line of Kingsway because they forced Paperno to get rid of that ball before he wanted to and put it in a place he didn't want to necessarily put it. Now, not throwing it to Najee Wilson is not a bad idea, but when you're throwing it into traffic like that, then that's where problems come up. And we got a flag on the play.
They're going to talk about it here.
Actually, we don't. I'm sorry. I thought the officials were talking it over and picking up a flag, but they did not. Okay, we're good.
What you have to love about Tony Barchuk and this Kingsway coaching staff is that they're quick learners. And after rushing just 3 guys earlier, now they're putting pressure on Paperno, and it's paying dividends. Quick pitch, and not a whole lot there as they run to the short side. You got to give him credit. Samuels trying to create what he could with little space.
Picked up about 2 or 3 there, but Samuels was in the backfield but lined up way out wide, so it was a long pitch from Oreo to get it to him. And they were running to the short side of the field, so there's not a lot of room there for Samuels to operate with.
Well, again, Kingsway in need of a first down. They have not had a first down thus far in this second half. over 11 minutes have been played in this third quarter. Handoff, Oreo. And again, not a whole lot there. Township really playing tough defensively, and he may have gotten back to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it.
They've only ran 5 plays and a punt, Rob. So, I mean, Kingsway has barely touched the ball this half. Now, the other thing that this does is Kingsway's defense has been on the field a lot. Those guys are going to be a little bit worn down and continue to get worn down as things go on, especially if it continues like this. And you're going to see things start to break down for them.
You know, one of the things that Coach Tony Barchuk said that he needed from Oreo is that he's got to manage the game and not try to do too much. And you can see they're playing very conservatively here, not forcing Oreo to do anything via the air, just kind of relying on both C's and Samuels. And we'll see if that trend continues here on third down.
But Oreo's just a sophomore.
Here it is. He pitches. And again, nothing doing. And Kingsway, another series of just 3 and out. C's, you can sense that frustration.
Nick Evangelista again with the tackle. And he's been a big part of the defense and what Township's been able to do this year. Coach Wechter saying nice things about him this week.
So Delaquilla will punt it away once again, and Grasso will be back to receive it. Delaquilla, this one a little bit shorter, hits at the 44 and will roll backwards and down thereabouts at the 43-yard line. So Township once again will take over in very good field position.
Just a 30-yard punt that time, and that, as you said, great field position for the Minutemen here. They need
again,
to capitalize.
You know, exactly. Kingsway coming off of that big triple overtime win versus Timber Creek, a team that a lot of people said was the top team in South Jersey coming into the season. Of course, we know that Delsea is regarded as such by many now, but Township forced to turn the ball over on that last series, and if you're a Kingsway fan, you wanted them to take advantage of that. They could not. 3 and out, and now Township once again, as you mentioned, has been on offense for the better part of this second half. Inside handoff, and again, they're starting to like what they see out of Michael McKeever.
Yeah, that triple overtime win was not last week for Township. It was actually on October 2nd where they beat Timber Creek, part of their 3-game winning streak for the Minutemen, in which they beat Shawnee 19-17, and then, of course, Timber Creek 28-22 before toppling Eastern 41-0 last week. Kingsway 1-3 this year. They lost to Hamilton to start things off 16-13, lost at Williamstown 14-7, beat Winslow 36-8, and lost to Timber Creek 14-0. So they've had some very close games.
Second down, and that'll be very close to a first down. We'll see where they spot it, and they finally blow a whistle. Again, you know, it's funny. They went and used Headley quite a bit in that first half, and now it's been the McKeever show.
Absolutely, and as we mentioned earlier, Headley, you know, broken foot last year. You're a running back. You're still recovering from that, so he's been limited at times. The thing gets swollen up, and you know, at halftime they're in there in the locker room for 20 minutes during homecoming. My guess is his foot didn't feel too good during, you know, to come back out here after that.
So it's going to be a measurement here for the first down. You know, one of the interesting things that I got from Coach Wechter in the pregame, he said that he has so much confidence in Paperno and Grasso and some of these other skill players that they will literally come in at halftime and they'll kind of get together with the coaching staff and they'll say, listen, these are the plays that I think are going to be successful and we should run them. And you know, Grasso a couple of weeks ago against Shawnee had a big touchdown, and it was as a result of him suggesting it to the coaching staff. And that's not something you see, and that speaks volumes about the trust that this staff has in its players.
Well, it's also senior leadership. Grasso's a senior. Seagraves is a senior. Ortiz is a senior. Wilson's a senior.
First down, nothing doing there. And again, this time they're going to go back to Meitel. We saw a little bit of him in the first half, and Mustafa has been a force to be reckoned with.
And again, can't talk about it enough. That was the one guy Coach Wechter said, hey, number 45 in their defense, he's going to cause problems. Got to neutralize him.
Second down after the loss of 3 to Meitel, and Paperno will look to expand things out of the spread. Again, another thing, Township tried that wing T last year. This year they said, you know what, we're going to just go with multiple packages. We've seen the spread here. Again, this time kind of going out of a pro set, giving the defense different looks. Paperno, and he'll roll. Buys time across the middle, in and out of the hands. Intended receiver on the play looked to be Headley. No, it was Ortiz. But a fine defensive play also by Kingsway. Good coverage, and again, you have to love the way that Paperno throws a football.
Yeah, I do. I was just going to say that. Again, the only person that was going to catch that ball was Ortiz or nobody. And Ortiz had a crack at it, just couldn't hold on to it. But, you know, there was no danger in that throw. It wasn't getting intercepted. And I like where Paperno puts the football.
3rd down now and 13. Trips right. Paperno. 3-step drop, throws underneath, inside screen, and that will fall incomplete. Nicely tipped on the throw. Someone from Kingsway got a hand on it. Did not see who that was. And Township will be forced to punt it away.
Might have been 93, I think. James Curtis, 6'3", 196-pound junior. Tight end, defensive end. They're crediting Mustafa with the deflection here in the PA announcer here at Kingsway. So it was either Mustafa or I thought it was Curtis, but nevertheless somebody got a hand up on it.
Bentz will punt it away, and a fair catch called by Kingsway, and down inside the 10-yard line. So with 36 seconds left, the likelihood is that after Oates took the punt, they'll run one play and switch ends.
Clock continued to run a little bit there past the play.
Like the Steelers game last week. First down and 10. We mentioned Kingsway still looking for their first down of the second half. And as you pointed out, in fairness, they've only had 2 series.
Yeah. 2 series, 6 snaps and a punt.
It was a handoff.
And up the middle.
6 snaps and 2 punts, but
not a whole lot there. And if you're Tony Barchuk in Kingsway, you probably regroup and have a talk, try to get a little play worked up here where you can generate some momentum and try to ride that lead throughout the 4th quarter, get your team back into playoff position. We mentioned before just how critical a game this is for Kingsway coming into tonight. Coach Mark Wechter said that Kingsway is the best 1-3 team in the state of New Jersey. And I asked Tony Barchuk about that. He says, well, who knows about that? So we'll head to the 4th quarter. Kingsway on top of Township, 19-14. Welcome back to Woolwich, New Jersey, home of Kingsway. 4th quarter underway, 10:30 remaining in the 4th quarter. And Kingsway went 3 and out once again, punted the ball away, and on the punt, Township charged with a personal foul. So another penalty to start the quarter. That has been the theme tonight. Why disappoint? Handoff inside, and Township will look to drive. A touchdown will put them ahead. Pickup of about 2 yards here for the Minutemen.
Penalty's huge though, Rob, because it was a 38-yard punt, decent job by the Kingsway punter. Then the 15-yard penalty. So now you're looking at a 53-yard turnaround there. So it put Township back inside their own 40 there, whereas they would have been starting on Kingsway's side of the field.
Kingsway's defense has held strong throughout, and their pass rush particularly has been effective, pressuring Paperno. Out of the eye, Paperno, quick drop, and again pressure. He eludes one man, and again another penalty flag here as Paperno is dropped. There will be no loss on the play, but Paperno very lucky to escape that first rusher.
There probably will be a loss though on holding is my guess here, as Arlen LaRue was the first rusher coming through. Actually, they're calling it against Kingsway. So it's going to be probably a first down here for Township.
Well,
Coach
Dan
Barchuk.
Minix has requested a lot of television time tonight.
And he's getting it. That's the man in the white hat there, your referee tonight. He has been busy, certainly.
So holding on Kingsway will result in a first down for Township, and they will breach midfield now in Kingsway territory.
It was apparently one of the corners, number 15, Hanif Jamal, who got whistled for that. So I guess a receiver was getting loose and he grabbed him. That's unfortunate for Kingsway because they played that pretty well.
1st and 10, Paperno. Deep drop, flushed out of the pocket, Paperno sacked! And another penalty flag on the field.
And that's right at the line of scrimmage. In actuality, picked it up and threw it in the Township backfield. Clipping is going to be against Township, it looks like.
I believe it's a chop block.
Shot block is the ball against Washington Township.
Ryan Jackson had the sack there. Came in with 34 tackles on the season, but that was a big one there.
Well, a loss of 10 on the sack.
Now, is that going to be on top of the loss of 10? If they put that penalty on top of the loss of 10, that's gigantic for Kingsway's defense here.
Chop block is
declined.
Okay. So 2nd down and 20.
So the loss would have been, I guess, the same distance, right? So you take the down rather than give them 1st and 20. It's 2nd and 20.
2nd down and 20 as opposed to 1st and 25, and the clock will continue to run here. We're inside of 9:30 in this exciting football game, our first of the season here on the GCEN.
Hey, we've got some good ones coming up too.
Again, working out of the I formation. We'll talk a little bit about what you can expect the rest of the year. Inside, a big pickup, about 10 or 11 for McKeever. He has been a force.
Yeah, for a guy that came in averaging 2.6 yards a carry, he's made some big hits tonight. He has gotten the volume of carries, Rob. 33 carries on the season, but at just 85 yards coming into tonight with a touchdown. But tonight he's made some big plays.
3rd down, we'll call it 9 for the Minutemen. And they are once again back into Kingsway territory. Taking a lot of time to have this play called. Again, now down to 8:30 and counting. Back to the spread. Paperno sprints to his left. Has time, has a man, it's caught by Ortiz. Fine pass and excellent reception by Ortiz.
And that is not an easy throw to make. If you watch Paperno, he's rolling to his right, so he's throwing that ball, from behind him while he's running. That's a heck of a throw, heck of an arm from that kid.
Well, Paperno has certainly not disappointed tonight. We mentioned before just how potent this offense can be under Paperno, and it's going to be the Paperno show here in the second half that will propel them should they be victorious.
He's really accurate too, Rob, for a high school kid.
McKeever, who has been a force as we mentioned before, and he is stopped after a relatively short game. Paperno coming into tonight with 9 touchdown passes, and he was 59 for 96 with 823 yards. He's probably eclipsed the 1,000-yard mark at this point. 2nd down, 7:40 left. Trips right for the Minutemen. Paperno inside, rocket screen with room, well designed into the secondary, and finally brought down is Najee Wilson.
I think it's his first catch of the night. No, Robin. He's had 15 on the year, which was actually 3rd on the team, but got his first touch here.
That'll be more than enough for the first down. 1st down and goal for Township as they are just outside the 8-yard line.
You've seen that play a lot, especially in the NFL this year, where guys are getting called for that pick. And that was close to being a pick play there that got Wilson loose.
McKeever is stopped immediately. Fine stand by this Kingsway defense, and Milano getting some help along the way.
Jay Skirbo in there on the tackle as well, coming up from the outside linebacker spot, senior, making the hit.
We mentioned before just the number of penalties. Right now, Kingsway 10 for 100 yards, Township 6 for 60 yards. It would have been 7 for 75 had that last penalty not been declined. Just amazing how many penalties between these two teams.
But Kingsway has not really had too many in the second half, right? They really had a ton in the first half.
Paperno sees an opening. Paperno cut down after picking up 2 or 3 yards.
He saw it and it closed fast, real fast.
And again, you have to believe that this is 4-down territory. They have opted against kicking a field goal here for whatever reason the last time down. And this time, you have to believe it's going to be the same thing.
Well, and they're in goal to go here, so it's touchdown or bust, Rob.
3rd down at the 5. Paperno once again working out of the shotgun. They'll hand off to McKeever, and absolutely nothing doing. And again, another penalty flag here. That looks like it might be a hold. And another crackback block, a chop block against Township, and you got to believe Kingsway's taking this one.
Curtis made the tackle for Kingsway. And, you know, it's the one thing I've noticed tonight. Like, you had the starting lineup here for Kingsway, and you've just got guys coming in waves, and they've got a lot of depth on this Kingsway defense. I mean, you look at the sideline, tons of kids here wearing black uniforms, and they certainly are utilizing their full resources tonight. Guys coming in and out, making plays.
So, spot foul. Ball at the 17-yard line now. 5:30 and counting remaining in this football game. 3rd down, spread for Paperno. This is where he has been most dangerous. Headley at the bottom of your screen. Ortiz looks across the middle for Grosso. Thrown into traffic and nothing doing.
Grosso wanted a flag, thought he got grabbed coming across. Still has his hands up like, hey, anybody? The throw went all the way through the end zone, and the refs are tracking it down out there by the track. That's
so 4th down and goal now at the 17-yard line. And again, now that looks like they may try the field goal. So Bentz coming out.
And here's the thinking, Rob. They've done a great job shutting down Kingsway's offense this entire game. So, hey, we'll take the 3 now. We'll shut them down. We'll get the ball back. We get another 3, we win.
How can you not agree with that thinking? Bentz kick is up, and the kick is good. No good.
Wow, missed it left.
Wow. From this angle, it looked good.
A lot of leg there. I mean, certainly had enough juice behind it, but just off to the left. And Bentz, I think, is still standing out there looking like, how did I miss that? What happened?
I mean, from this angle, it looked like it was good, but obviously the referee's right underneath that post, and that's a big turn of events. You know, again, if you're Coach Wechter, even though you've missed that field goal, you cannot do anything but kick a field goal there. 4th down at 17, and you have a great leg right there. Bentz is a guy that typically you can count on, put you into position to kick a field goal to win the game. And now Kingsway has an opportunity to maybe eat up some clock, but they have yet to have a 1st down in the second half. They desperately need one here. Oreo with a full house backfield. 1st down and 10 for the Dragons. Oreo will hand it off. An absolute smash in the back is seized.
Grosso, I think, came in and made that hit. 14. Yeah, it was Grosso. And Grosso's playing safety tonight.
You can see Grosso's a little shaken up after that. I think he had a little bit of a stinger there, and he's just trying to get it together. Najee Wilson and Grasso there in the foreground.
That's a heck of a play, though. He's playing safety. He came up there through the line of scrimmage and he made that play
well, at
for
this
a loss of 3.
At this point, Oreo has not thrown a ball more than 5 or 6 yards, so, you know, you can stack the box.
And that's what they've been doing.
Oreo hands it to Seas. Seas fumbles the football. It's on the ground. And Township comes away with it.
Wow. Grasso picks it up at about the 22-yard line. How about that? Now Township's back in business, Rob. And now the onus falls back on the Kingsway defense here to do what they just did. Now you got to stop them again. You've got to force them into long situations here.
Well, you kind of get a sense that this drive here is going to determine the game.
Yeah, I would say so. With 4 minutes left, this is huge.
4:18 left. If Township scores, then Kingsway has not shown the propensity to utilize the air as an offensive weapon. Conversely, Kingsway will have an opportunity to maybe get their first down. Paperno throws it up, has his man, touchdown! Justin Ortiz.
Second touchdown of the season for Ortiz. And that is a huge one. Puts his team up by now 1 point at 20-19 with the extra point pending here. Now, does Township, I guess you got to go for 2 here, right? To
Correct.
Make sure it's a 3-point game.
Correct. Well, what a turn of events. Seas, who's been phenomenal, put the ball on the ground, scooped up by the Minutemen, and it just took one play to vault the Minutemen back into the lead, 20-19. Paperno and Township will look to extend that to 3.
So a 22-yard strike there right after the turnover. And Township, which has trailed basically the entire night, finally grabs the lead here after 44 minutes of action, about 43 minutes and 47 seconds of action. They finally get their first lead.
Paperno swings right, flushed out, knocked down, and it falls incomplete.
Actually, got to check that. They did lead 7-6 after they scored, after Kingsway took that 6-0 lead. So it was 7-6, but I mean, after that, Kingsway struck quickly twice. So it's been a while since Township's had the lead, and now they're back in front.
Well, you know, and speaking with Tony Barchuk before the game, he said, you know, we need to eliminate the turnovers. The turnovers are what killed us. Now, they were able to eliminate them, but right on cue, as soon as they coughed the ball up, it's really changed the fortune of this Kingsway team. And he said, you know, our problem is we have to kind of learn how to win. And they had the ability to kind of deliver a knockout blow, a couple first downs, and we would call it a night. Instead, it's now Township on top by 1, and Kingsway is going to have to figure out a way to score essentially on the ground.
Now for Kingsway, if they can't manage to pull this out here in the final 4-13, they're looking at 1-4 down in the bottom of the Group 5 power point standings. Williamstown and Toms River North right now are both are 1-2, 60 power points and 59 power points. Then you got Lenape, Cherokee, Washington Township right now 5th in power points in Group 5. So this win obviously will help them. Egg Harbor Township 3-2, Millville 2-2. Then you've got, with the whole Group 5 addition, you've got Howell and Southern that are South Jersey teams now in Group 5. So there's a lot of teams Kingsway would need to leapfrog in a short amount of time, and I don't know if you lose here, that's going to be an uphill climb.
Bentz will kick it away. Line drive kick towards Samuels. Samuels has been effective in returning it, and they say he took it on the knee. They say when he received the football, he was on the knee. Excuse me, that's Oates. It was Oates, and Oates makes a mistake there.
It's the second time that's happened to Kingsway tonight.
Well,
that's unfortunate.
Kingsway's just made their job a little bit tougher. 90 yards to go with 4 minutes and 10 seconds remaining.
Well, now you have to go in the huddle and you got to say, look, forget about what happened the rest of this half. We've got one opportunity here to make something happen, and you just got to start from scratch.
Well, when you have explosive backs like Samuels and Seas, you certainly have an opportunity. Quick screen, not much there, and that's going to lose about 4 yards. Samuels, to be honest with you, that play didn't have a chance because Oreo just didn't deliver it with any velocity.
It's a good idea, though. You want to get Samuels in some space to kind of make something happen, not necessarily give him a handoff and let him run into the line. He's out in space, so he's one-on-one against somebody. You've got, the dew starting to settle in. You got wet turf. Somebody can slip. Seas can break one. So it's certainly a good idea, but again, the execution just needs to be a little bit quicker.
About 3:35 left. Kind of believe this is 4-down territory despite how deep they are. Nice throw delivered by Oreo, finds Samuels, and that'll be close to a first down. It's at the 20.
That's a very good throw. Looks like he's going to be a tad short of the first down, though. I think they've got a yard to go here.
And if you can have a couple passes like that, then that's going to keep the defense honest and maybe open something up for Seas and or Clemens.
Absolutely.
And they'll drive forward Oreo. Should have enough for the first down if they ever blow the whistle here. He's still on his feet.
All right, and they'll stop the clock to move the chains, so you get that little bit of added help in the high school game when they stop the clock and move the chains, and you got some time to talk it over and make the next play. But first down of the half for Kingsway.
That's correct.
So that's huge for them. Again, confidence builder, plenty of time, 3 minutes. You've got all your timeouts, if I'm not mistaken, so you're in good shape.
.245 left. Oreo out of the shotgun. Low snap. Oreo back to pass, has time. Now throws it and looking to the sideline, trying to find his intended receiver, Samuels. But again, not a lot of velocity on him.
Now, he had a small window to deliver that ball, and Cooper Bentz was closing in fast, number 4, the kicker, and he also plays some cornerback and safety as well. He was closing in, so it was fortunate for Oreo that he got it out there when he did, because he saw that was telegraphed. He could see that play coming.
2nd down and 10. The clock does stop, of course, on the incomplete. 2 minutes and 38 seconds now. Again, the spread for Oreo and the Dragons. He's getting flushed out, avoids one man. He'll avoid another. Now outside the pocket, throws, has his man, and he's caught. The ball is caught at the 35-yard line. First down for the Dragons.
How about great play by 88 Garrett Miller? Because what he did, Rob, is he squared up to the ball, made himself wide, and the defender couldn't get around him to bat that ball away. So nice job by Miller using his body as a shield to get that ball. Good work.
Again, Oreo out of the spread, throws it up, has his man, it's Oates, Oates catches it, Oates all the way down to the 30-yard line.
How about that?
What a fine throw by Oreo, and Oates just wanting it a little bit more than the defender.
Rob, great throw by Oreo. The ball's on the far side. He put that ball exactly where he wanted it. Oates was well ahead of the pack and just ran right under it. Nicely done. And now Kingsway's in business here. 1st and 10 at the Township 30 after picking up about 37 yards on the pass.
2 minutes and 14 seconds left, and we'll see if they go back to the ground. They've softened up that secondary a little bit. And again, it's the spread. Oreo has Seas in motion, hands off to Seas. Seas will cut it back inside, and Seas will take it down to the 27-yard line.
Danny Gianquinto with the tackle, along with some help from 77 David Grosmick.
And Kingsway's going to call timeout here.
Yeah, why not? Settle things down. Let's talk it over. He made a big play. Everyone's kind of pumped up. We just had to run down from 37 yards. Everyone's settled, and now okay, let's talk it over. Get a drink, and just keep the momentum going.
Well, again, bit of a surprise here because Oreo has not had the propensity to throw very often throughout this game, and yet he's been very successful in this drive. 3 key receptions. He's done a nice job.
Rob, coming into the game, only threw it 18 times this whole season. You're talking about 4 games. That's an average of like 4 or 5 a game. He's put it up a lot more tonight, and with some success.
Absolutely. Again, you have the athletes. I mean, Oates has shown to be an exceptional receiver. You see Sandy, he could play a major role here. Right now they're at the 28-yard line. He does not have the leg to kick a 45-yarder, but you know, a couple more first downs and we'll be talking about Sandy. Sandy did its damage here a couple of years ago, and you're looking to have some more Sandy damage if it plays out that way. 2nd down, and we're going to call it 8. Oreo with a lot of time. Oreo looks, dances around, trying to find time. Oreo now goes the other way. Oreo tucks it under. Oreo towards the sideline. First down.
Wow.
I tell you what, one word there, patience.
And smarts. Didn't force anything, Rob. He didn't have anything, so he didn't force anything. And when he came back across the green, he came this way to the near side. Then he came back. The only guy really that was out there for Township was a defensive lineman who was down on the ground. I think it might have been Chris Wizard, number 50, was blocked and knocked down. So there was no reason to not run it. There was some space in front of him, and he took it smartly.
Ball at the 17-yard line now, so this would be a 35-yard field goal. That's a little bit more in Sandy's range. Oreo with a big rush, and Oreo is sacked.
Again, that's all right. Timeout. Use a timeout here. Nick Evangelista with the sack. He's a big play kind of guy making that hit.
Well, we mentioned before Evangelista, quite the athlete, an exceptional baseball player, and he has shown that he does not take a back seat on the football field. A big play here as he drops Evangelista, and now they are certainly out of field goal range.
You know, you think this is a great game. Next week, we've got a great one for you, too. Delsea and Hamilton with the Blue Devils visiting the Crusaders. 2 teams that are 5-0, 2 teams ranked in the state in the top 20. Delsea number 9 in one ranking, Hamilton number 19. We've got that game for you next week. We've also got Woodbury and Paulsboro next week as well. So 2 real good games. That game, the 2 top teams in the Colonial Patriot matchup.
2nd down and 15 now. Again, Oreo working out of this spread. Quick drop. Looks. Flushed out of the pocket. Oreo, and he's brought down. Picks up about 3 yards, but he'll need a lot more than that.
Didn't get out of bounds either. The clock will continue to run. They're going to hurry up and get to the line of scrimmage.
I mean, this is a situation here where obviously you want to not use up too much clock, but on the other hand, you also want to make sure you're running the right play here. So Oreo will get together with his offense. 70 seconds and counting remaining in this football game.
You got to get your kicker ready. Although, no matter if you don't get the first down here, you're going to call timeout and try and get everything set up to, for your kicker.
Oreo gets the rush. Oreo finds his way. Oreo cuts it back inside, and Oreo is down to the 16-yard line.
But he's well short of a first down. They needed, 13, 14 yards. He's got down to about the 16.
And now the question is, do you go for it or do you attempt the field goal? They've been successful on 1 point after.
Well, you call your last time out here, so I think you got to send the kicker out, right? And go and go for the kick here. Go for the win.
Well, Sean Sandy, an interesting story, went out for the soccer team and then opted to come out for the football team. And he could be the hero on homecoming. I don't know. He may not have been voted king, but he could come out of here as king.
I'll say. He's a sophomore. He's 5'8", 165.
Well, obviously, the hold is everything in addition to the snap here. So
33 yards is the kick.
35 seconds left. Sandy on to attempt the field goal. The snap, the kick, it's up, and it is good!
Wow!
Sandy!
How about that?
All of 33 yards and not too much more than that.
Still 30 seconds left to go, though. So if you're Kingsway, you got to kind of regroup and say, wait a second, guys. We still got 30 seconds left to go. Anything could still happen. But, hey,
I tell you what, if we check
job.
that football, there might be some yellow paint on that.
Yeah, that was definitely a crossbar scraper, but it made it. And that's got to be a happy guy there. But, look, intensity still.
Well, he understands there's still a lot of football left. When you have an offense with Paperno, all it's going to take is a couple first down, and you're going to give Benson an opportunity, who's already kicked one, 47 yards to win versus Timber Creek.
Wow. I tell you what, this has been a fantastic game, though. Fantastic, Rob. It started out a little rocky, but, hey, it's definitely everything we could expect.
This game has had its own personality.
Yeah, it's certainly two real good teams going at it, and just what we expected, really, honestly. I mean, you figured it'd be a slugfest, and two teams that both had a lot on the line. Kingsway with a little bit more on the line, though, in terms of, postseason possibilities.
Well, penalties have played a role throughout this night. We'll see whether another penalty flag will change the fortunes of either team here. 30 seconds remaining. Again, Sandy will kick it off. His kicks have gone relatively deep, ending up somewhere around anywhere the 8 to the 10-yard line. If you recall, at one point, one was taken and accidentally a knee was down. So they're going to squib kick this. It's going to be taken and fumbled, picked up at the 18. And Abercrombie takes the football, and he's going to be down at about the 30-yard line. And 6.7 seconds elapse on the clock. So Washington Township with timeouts in hand and a quality quarterback. I've been very, very impressed throughout the evening tonight with Mike Paperno, and we'll see whether or not he can pull another rabbit out of his hat.
And they've only got to get to, say, I don't know, the 25 to 30 range, I think, really, to give Bentz a shot at a field goal. Like we said, he made a 47-yarder in that crazy storm a couple weeks ago, so certainly he's got the leg.
You can't let anybody get behind you if you're a defensive back. Paperno throws it up. Up for grabs, and it's intercepted. Intercepted.
You got to get down, though. Get down. Get down. Don't fumble the ball. Wow.
Well, a fine play as Hanif Jamal.
That's his second pick of the year. And I'll tell you what, Kingsway won the turnover battle tonight, Rob. And that really, when you come down to it, that's, that's a lot of time before the game's won or lost.
Well, I tell you what, that's the type of game that a lot of people are going to be happy about it here at Kingsway on homecoming. And it wasn't just one star. There were a lot of stars. Oreo did a tremendous job at the quarterback spot. You can't say enough about the running of C's. Mustafa and Milano defensively were phenomenal. Riley and Jamal with big interceptions. And maybe the biggest hero is a guy that didn't really expect to play football when the year started, Sean Sandy. And it seems as though another Sandy is going to wreck Washington Township.
2 months ago, Sean Sandy was kicking a round ball around, thinking soccer. Now he's kicking the oblong ball through the uprights, and he's the hero tonight.
These are the type of games when we do a football game like this. What I love about this is not only do we have the ability to share this with everybody else, but this is something that Sean Sandy's going to have for the rest of his life.
Yeah, hope that they'll have the DVR running this week in the Sandy household here in Woolwich Township, no doubt about it.
Well, I think the Sandy family is going to have everybody over to watch it, so I'll get them my phone number later. Well, this should do it here. The clock will expire, and Kingsway will hope to turn around their fortunes. What a come-from-behind win by this Kingsway Dragons team. Homecoming dance is going to be electric this weekend. Kingsway victorious. We will have post-game interviews and a wrap in just a moment. Your final score, the Dragons 22, the Minutemen 20.
Welcome back to Kingsway High School. The Dragons victorious on homecoming, 22-20. A pair of sophomores played key roles in the Dragons' victory, and our own Mike Shute has them. Mike?
We've got, two sophomore heroes to choose from here. You've got the quarterback, Pete Orio. You've got the kicker, Sean Sandy. Two guys making some big plays tonight. We'll start with the quarterback because he's the one calling the signals most of the game. And Pete, you guys just resilient, stuck with it. Second half, things weren't working too well for you guys, but you put together a great drive at the end.
Yeah, we were just rushing stuff coming out of the half. We were trying to do too much. The first half, we put up 3 touchdowns. It was great, and we just had to slow things down. That's what happened on the last drive. The pressure came up, and we just slowed down, ran our offense, and it all worked out.
Coming into tonight, you'd only thrown about 17, 18 passes. Tonight, you put it up a little bit more than normal.
Yeah.
Was that part of the game plan tonight coming into this, or was it kind of a necessity?
And I think we only threw the ball like 4 or 5 times going into that last drive, but we work on it a lot in practice. Coach Barchuk, all the coaches do a great job of getting us prepared, and I was ready to step up when I needed to.
And talk about the last drive and what it took to kind of get yourselves in position to get the game-winning kick.
We just all had trust in each other. The big pass to Oates was a big play, and Garrett made a nice one on me scrambling around, and we got in field goal position. Sean put it through, and we won the game. It was great.
What did you see on the play to Oates? Because that was the big play of the drive, and you just kind of put it out there, and he got under it.
Yeah, I mean, Oates is a great wideout. Most of our passes are designed for him, so when he went deep, the safety sank, and I saw him. I said, let me just put it up and let him make a play.
And the field goal, you're on the sidelines at that point. You've got another sophomore. You're a sophomore. You got another sophomore here. 2 young guys. What were you thinking as things were lining up for the kick?
So just make it. I mean, I knew he could do it. I mean, he's a soccer player. Got a great leg, and he doesn't miss too many in practice. I knew he was good.
Awesome, Sean Sandy. Let's bring you in. First career field goal made is this one. How's it feel?
Feels awesome. Coming from soccer, it's not the same as football. It's just awesome.
When you played soccer last year, you tried out for the team this year, you didn't make it.
Yeah.
How does this all come about? How do you wind up then on the football team? Tell me the whole evolution of what happened.
Well, I didn't make the team, and then the soccer coach told me that he might call the football team and tell them about me. So I was on the beach, and the coach called me, and I didn't answer because my phone was off. But and then I got home, called him, and then I was on practice on Monday.
And the rest is history. Now, we had a camera shot of you warming up, kicking, and you kind of were, hitting a couple balls. You had a smile on your face. Was that a nervous smile, or was that like a calm smile? What was going through your head as the team's getting into position for you to make a game-winning kick?
I was really nervous because last game I didn't really handle the pressure too well, and I just shanked it.
Uh-huh. What was different about today? What turned things around, gave you the confidence to step up again and take a crack at it?
Well, missing last time, and I really wanted to make it, so I just tried to make it as good as I could.
So, for your first career field goal, it couldn't be a better situation. You get a game winner with not a lot of time left to go. Could you have, last year when you're on the soccer field, this has got to be the first thing for your mind.
Yes, I didn't think I would be here at all. I didn't really like watching football, but now I'm here.
Things change. Yep. We'll send it over to Rob Christ with the coach, Tony Barchuk.
Thank you, Michael. Here with winning head coach Tony Barchuk. And Tony's been around South Jersey sports for such a long time, and obviously a coach of so many different sports. And, the thrill of sports is that it's always a new story. Every time you think you've seen it all, and you literally rescue a kid off the soccer team, and he scrapes one in from 33 yards. Certainly not the ending you probably expected.
No, not at all. As they say, who would have thunk it? And, the kid, the coach, Coach Johnny Green, who's a good friend of mine, he had said that, listen, how's your kicking situation? And I spoke to him, and I told him, we graduated our kid from last year who was a pretty good kicker. And, so we're really looking. So he really turned me on to the kids, and I went and I spoke to them, and, thank God, okay, well, come on, give it a shot. And this is the result, okay? The kid comes along and kicks a winning field goal in a dramatic situation here, for our team, in a must situation for us, really. It's just a must situation. And, all I can say is God bless him. It was awesome.
Coming into tonight, you talked about how critical the turnover battle was. it seemed like throughout the year you guys were just losing on that end. And then, we talked about it up during the game that you guys were winning the turnover battle, and that was the difference. And then all of a sudden, probably something you wouldn't expect, that your number one guy puts it on the ground, turns it around, and obviously you come away with a win. But, on paper, you guys win the turnover battle, and that had to be big for you guys in terms of the game and maybe catapulting your confidence going forward.
No, absolutely. I mean, for Anthony to do something like that, to put the ball on the ground, is like unheard of. But listen, things happen, and the great thing about what transpired is that our kids never moaned. They just got back into playing whatever the situation was. They took over the situation, and they just kept on playing. The coaches kept on coaching, and we never missed a beat, okay? And I think we got that experience from the season that we've been having, playing against these top teams, from Hamilton to Williamstown to Timber Creek. I mean, like Winslow, all those teams were like talented. They were all good teams. And, we had to we learned just to maintain focus and keep on going. So we really don't stop coaching until the whistle blows. They don't stop playing until the whistle blows. And I think that really helped us tonight. I really do.
You never know as a coach or as a player what the turning point of your season is going to be. But obviously, we talked before, you had to win tonight. I mean, there were no ifs, ands, or buts. You come away with a victory here, and in a game that, you probably wouldn't expect to win via a field goal. It's been a kind of a sore spot for you over the years. You have to believe that maybe this is going to turn out to be your year.
Well, I could say I hope so, but you never know. You're going to play them one at a time, as you know. And but this was big for us. We don't win this game tonight, there's no playoffs. We're done. And so that creates so many problems. It's just it's not a good situation. And listen, hats off to our kids, really. And they did a great job. They hung in there, played tough against a very good team, a well-coached team, a 3-1 team coming in. I mean, you know what I mean? It's like there's nothing easy about it. And so we were elated to win this ball game tonight.
Well, Coach, it's always fun doing your football games. Well-earned victory. Great seeing you. Congratulations.
My pleasure. And great to see you guys. Thank you very much for coming and covering the Dragons. We appreciate it.
I know you're going to have an enjoyable night. Celebrate it. All right, back with my partner, Mike. Again, a lot of fun always coming here to Kingsway. A lot of personality from Coach Barchuk. I mean, he's seen quite a bit. As I mentioned, I'm not sure that he's seen this before.
Yeah, and like Sean Sandy said, he was on the beach. Now he thought he was going to play soccer, didn't make it. He's on the beach. He gets a call. Hey, I'm a football player now. It's just, how about it? What a great night. What a great night for Kingsway. What a great game. And Township, they were down. They were down big in this game, 19-7. They came back. They took the lead late. They showed some heart. They, really worked their way back into it. You got to give them some credit over there, too, for what they did. Paperno, fantastic night throwing the football. He looked really good. And, Township falls to 3-3 now, but still solidly in the playoff picture. And now Kingsway, they boost themselves into the playoff picture too, Rob, I think, with this win. So that goes a long way. You never know. They might see each other again down the line.
No, very possibly. And again, you can't say enough about Washington Township. I know they came up short tonight, but, a well-coached team. I really love what they did, giving the defense a variety of looks against a very, very good Kingsway defense. Paperno was very impressive. Grasso not only was strong offensively, but he had some big plays defensively.
Yeah, the fumble recovery set him up.
A lot of times you kind of get down on yourself because things don't go your way in the midst of the season. But, it's a lot of times a team that gets hot at the end of the year. And just watching Washington Township tonight, that's not a team that I would want to play if I was an opposing coach. So, Michael, this was a great way to start off our season. You can't really ask for much better than that. Two great teams, two well-coached teams, a hard-fought game with really an unbelievable storyline. And, we're happy to be back on air with you guys and bring you plenty of high school football action. Please join us again. Next week we'll have two great rivalries with Delsea and Hamilton and Woodbury and Paulsboro. So thanks for joining us tonight. Again, your final score, it was Kingsway 22, Washington Township 20. For my partner, Mike Shute, my director, Stan Ritter, and all the crew, I'm Rob Chris. Thanks for joining us. Good night, everybody.